who uses skincare, haircare, and makeup products, including even sunscreen, may be surprised to find out just how much time and effort goes into the formulation and marketing of that one tiny bottle sitting on the rim of your bathroom sink. Just as pharmacologists constantly work to formulate new and more effective medications, cosmetic chemists work around the clock to create, test, and sell what they hope to be the next best-selling product, while having to keep up with the trends of the ever-evolving cosmetic industry. You may be thinking, what exactly is a cosmetic chemist? Do they combine a host of random chemicals and see what works? Or do they just copy and paste other existing formulations? Well, cosmetic chemists are involved in various stages of cosmetic product development, from the formulation of the product, conducting safety tests of the product, to even marketing the product to consumers. The field of cosmetics is also much more complex than just throwing chemicals together. Cosmetic chemists, just as with any other chemistry field career, have to take into account how certain chemicals interact with each other and the environment. Let's look briefly at some considerations a cosmetic chemist might make during formulation. Vitamin C, also known as ascorbic acid, is one example of a chemical compound with many skincare benefits, ranging from reducing hyperpigmentation, dullness, and acne scars, to acting as a powerful antioxidant that helps fight free radicals. However, it is also very unstable. Chemists who aim to use vitamin C in their products have to, for one, make sure that the product packaging is compatible with the ingredient. Many vitamin C products have dark or completely opaque packaging to ensure that the compound is not exposed to UV light, which would make the product go rancid quicker. Vitamin C, being a potent ingredient, also normally would not be mixed with ingredients such as AHAs or BHAs, as using them at the same time would greatly sensitize the skin and destroy your skin barrier, a protective lipid barrier of the skin. Some studies have even shown the two ingredients to counteract each other, as AHAs and BHAs lower the pH of the vitamin C product to a point that it is ineffective. If a formulation with vitamin C is too risky, chemists might opt for equally effective alternatives, such as niacinamide, a newer ingredient that is much more stable and safer for sensitive skin types. In makeup formulation, you may hear of features like pigmentation, consistency, and shades. All of these factors of makeup rely on the chemical proportions used within the product. Cosmetic chemists and makeup companies must conduct various trials with different combinations of pigments, emulsifiers, preservatives, and fragrances, among a variety of other ingredients, to figure out the most optimal formulation at a cost that would be favorable to their target audience. Now that I have hopefully piqued your interest, let's break down the fundamentals of what a career in cosmetic chemistry entails. There are several categories of careers associated with cosmetic chemistry, a few of which are the following. R&D chemists are involved with what usually comes to mind when you mention a career in chemistry. These chemists work inside the lab, experimenting with various compounds to create new samples of formulations. At the very start of the production line, they also meet with suppliers for raw materials. They must be up to date with new research that comes out regarding the safety of ingredients and current trends in the industry. Quality control chemists, as their name implies, are responsible for determining whether or not the ingredients and formulations meet quality standards for safety and functionality. Process chemists are also known as the middleman. They take the smaller lab batches made by R&D chemists to larger scale production. This is a middle checkpoint used to make sure that the formula is safe to be created during mass production, as such is very different from the formulating done in a small beaker. Process chemists also deal with a lot of paperwork. They must be careful because their documentation will be used in mass production, so any mistakes made can cost a company thousands of dollars once production really begins. Compounding chemists deal with the last stage of product development. They make the final product on a mass production scale that will be shipped out to retailers and sold to consumers. Especially in smaller indie companies, cosmetic chemists will work as advisors for the company's marketing team in what ideas are feasible and what features of the product can be used in its promotion. So, what are the other pros and cons of a career in cosmetic chemistry? Treated as a plus by some, cosmetic chemists are often asked to travel around the world to learn and investigate more on global cosmetic trends. If you're an avid user of beauty products, another pro of being a cosmetic chemist is that you will likely be able to take home some of your samples. Cosmetic chemists often talk about the overflow of products they had initially taken home to test out, pouring out of their bathroom cupboards. As with any career, however, there are some drawbacks that you should consider before pursuing a career in cosmetic chemistry. These include a lack of advancement in the field, insufficient project funding, regulatory issues, pressures from the marketing team, and occasionally a make or break factor for many people, inadequate compensation. These are the average annual salaries for people in the cosmetic R&D field as given by ChemistCorner.com. With lab technician and chemist being the starting jobs for most cosmetic R&D chemists, some people might find it more difficult to deal with debt just coming out of college or graduate school. As salaries differ greatly depending on location, the average annual salary for cosmetic chemistry jobs in New York City as of July 1st, 2020 is $62,223 a year, as reported by ZipRecruiter.com, with the lower quartile making $28,390 or less per year, and the upper quartile earning $74,038 or more per year. Nationwide, the average annual salary goes down to $56,728 a year. Although this career might not be the best choice for someone looking for high monetary return in their work, cosmetic chemistry is a field with many merits if you have a genuine interest for it. In consideration of all these factors and your personal passion for the field, you might now wonder how to get started in pursuing a career in cosmetic chemistry. Typically, after getting a high school education, cosmetic chemists need at least a bachelor's degree in the sciences. The most common degrees among cosmetic chemists are those in chemistry, chemical engineering, biology, and microbiology. If you are extremely driven to have a career in the cosmetic chemistry field, there are some undergraduate programs with a focus on cosmetic science, including the University of Toledo and the University of Cincinnati in the United States, and Seneca College in Canada. If you plan to work in larger corporations or want to advance in your career, you might plan to continue your studies even further, as students with masters or PhDs are preferred. As with many other jobs, your learning will extend past your studies when you're out in the field working. Those with more experience will be able to advance into higher ranking, higher paying positions, which also hold greater responsibility. It would be ideal for you to have a plan on what your career goals and path will look like early on in your journey. Overall, as a cosmetic chemist, you will hardly ever have to worry about being bored. The cosmetics industry is constantly changing and evolving as new compounds are being identified and isolated into more stable and useful forms. Even the agent with which the formula is applied, such as face masks and microneedle patches, to name a few recent trends, continues to be researched upon by cosmetic chemists. With this video being only a brief overview of the career of a cosmetic chemist, there is so much more to this influential and interesting profession than meets the eye. Would you consider being a cosmetic chemist?